Hi all who are watching my presentation. Today I'll be talking about our paper, Hierarchical Multi-Process Fusion for Visual Place Recognition. This paper deals with the visual place recognition challenge. In this challenge, our objective is to localize a mobile robot's position within a pre-mapped environment, where our only sensor is traditional monocular camera. The mapped environment stores a database of images as shown in the top row of images. Given a query traverse, images are observed and then compared to the database, and the matching image is found. As can be observed in this example, both viewpoint and environment conditions can vary between the query and reference traverses. In this work specifically, we consider a hierarchical approach to visual place recognition. Why a hierarchy? In a hierarchy, a fast method of place recognition is used to find a set of nearest neighbor database images. Then a second, more advanced method is used to select the best match from a shortlist. However, beyond the inherent computational benefits, a hierarchical approach can in fact boost localization performance by removing difficult reference images in the first stage, preventing an instance of perceptual aliasing later in the hierarchy, leading to overall better performance. We use a 3-tier hierarchy with up to 6 different image processing methods. The structure is modular and can be easily reconfigured, with different ordering of methods resulting in different performance characteristics. In this more detailed flowchart, we show the process by which a final candidate reference place is selected for a given query image. Each tier uses a different localization technique, such that the early methods remove reference images and shorten the list of possible places to localize against. Early methods need to be good at selecting the best match within, say, the top 100 nearest neighbor reference images, while the final methods needs to be optimized for selecting the true singular best match from a set of potentially good matches. Here we show an example query where the first tier of the hierarchy has identified the correct matching reference image at position 4 in the list of ordered queries. Or references. As the hierarchy is progressed, the position of the match moves up the ordered list to position 1 by the end of the 3-tier hierarchy. We use a number of different localization methods to test our approach. We got HOG and GIST, so histogram-oriented gradings, and GIST, which are global image descriptor algorithms which generate a feature vector per image by which cosine distance is used to compare these vectors that are produced from these approaches. NetFlat and HybridNet are our 2 learnt descriptors, which produce a learnt-based feature vector descriptor, and also HybridNet will use a aggressive form of dimensionality reduction. With K's is a local feature detector, a bit like SIRFT and SIFT, and we use the sum of matched feature residuals to compare the image similarity. And finally, we have Only Look Once by Citation, as per the code provided on GitHub, which involves a neural network and some region correspondence matching. We evaluate our work on 2 well-known data sets, Nordland and Berlin-Körfer-Standard-Darm. Initially, we do not know which subset and ordering of these techniques is optimal for the chosen data sets. So in order to characterize the complementarity or the combination of methods, we split our data sets into training and test sets. For Nordland, we use 1,000 images from each seasonal conditions for both sets, and each set of 1,000 are from different sections of the overall trained data set. We also provide our code on GitHub as well, as in the link. So for Nordland, we use a summer traverse of the train route as a query set, and our reference images are taken during the winter season. For our training set, we use 1,000 images from summer and winter, and our test set is a different set of 1,000 images from the overall trained data set of Nordland. And generally we'll have 100 images in the top tier, then 10, then 1. For the Berlin data set, our query set is a bicycle riding alongside a road in Berlin. The reference set is a car and a bus on the same road. this vary between our training and test, we use the same reference set, but we generally change the query. So we have one bicycle as the training set, and the test set, is a different bicycle on the same road, but a different year. So here's some results. So we began by applying a single localization technique on each training set to generate the recall at N curves that are shown on the screen, where N is the number of top candidate matches returned by the algorithm. It is noticeable that different methods have a wide variety of performance curves, and a method that works in one environment may not work in another. We continue by combining two methods in a simple hierarchy, where the first method selects either 100 candidates in the case of Norland or 50 candidates for Berlin, which are then passed to a second method, which selects a final best match. The multi-tier shown is a final contribution, where we look back up the hierarchy and reweight the final ordering of different scores based on a weighted contribution of different scores in earlier tiers of the hierarchy. We combine every possible combination of two methods and note that every method is always improved in terms of the recall at 1 when placed at the second position in the hierarchy. In this slide, we continue the experiments with 3 localization techniques in a hierarchical structure, and a considerable improvement with this technique is observed for the Norland dataset when going from the first method through the second to third, and then finally to the multi-tier. We continue on now and combine 6 methods for the Norland set. So with 6 methods, we maintain a 3-tiered hierarchy, except we place 2 techniques within each tier and consider the union of candidate options in tiers 1 and 2 and combine the different scores in the final tier. The methods in each tier is shown in the table screen. The use of a large sweep of different techniques produces a major boost to the recall at 1 on Norland, with an improvement from 60% recall to 80% recall between the 3 method and 6 method examples with the multi-tier approach. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the Berlin dataset. Reflecting back on our individual method tests in an earlier slide, some image processing methods are very ineffective at localizing in the Berlin dataset. This is because Berlin has major viewpoint variations, which techniques like HOG, GIST, and HybridNet have difficulty handling. A final supplementary experiment considers the impact of modifying the candidate counts returned from each tier of the hierarchy. At the left, we essentially have no hierarchy. With the third method is given virtually all possible frames on the database. Now, multi-tier recovers some of this poor performance, but is lower than the recall at 1 for a hierarchical set of candidate counts. The highest recall at 1 for multi-tier occurs for both hierarchical structures, that is, candidate counts 351 and counts 50, 10, 1. And to conclude, we look at our test sets. So we take our best performing order and set of methods from the training sets, and we run them on a similar but unknown environment. And our approach provides the highest recall at 1 for both the third method of the hierarchy and the enhanced approach of multi-tier for both datasets. In summary, our results show that a complementary combination of localization techniques in a hierarchical structure improves visual place recognition beyond any individual method could achieve alone. These findings warrant further investigation into the mechanisms behind this complementarity between different image processing methods. Thanks for watching our presentation.